What if I told you the pain you carry, the wounds you've endured, the darkness you've walked through were not mistakes? What if, before you were born, you chose this? Not as punishment, not because you were broken, but because your soul knew something. Your soul remembered something that your mind forgot. That pain would be the key to awakening, to remembering, to becoming. This isn't about blame, and it's not about fate. It's about something far more ancient, something hidden beneath the veil of this physical life. You see, before you came here, before this body, this name, this story, you were infinite. You were light. You were consciousness without form. And in that vast field of divine awareness, you saw the life you were about to enter. You saw the beauty, the joy, but also the heartbreak, the loss, the fear. And still, you said yes. Why? Because your soul didn't come here to stay safe. It came to grow, and growth rarely happens in comfort. You knew that through suffering, you'd remember your strength. Through heartbreak, you'd remember your capacity to love. Through loss, you'd remember what truly matters. You chose pain, because pain breaks the illusion. It cracks the shell of identity. It burns away everything that isn't real, until only truth remains. Somewhere deep inside you, you've always known this, that your struggles were never random, that there was something sacred in your scars. And maybe you've felt it in moments of silence, in dreams, in the eyes of someone who truly sees you. That faint whisper, you chose this path. Not because you wanted to suffer, but because you wanted to remember who you really are. And remembering often begins in the dark. In the next chapter, we'll explore why this choice makes you powerful, and how every painful moment has been a breadcrumb leading you back to your deepest truth. Let's go deeper. So, why would a soul choose pain? Because pain is a teacher, and not just any teacher, but the most honest, the most uncompromising, the most transformative. Pain strips away illusions. It brings you face to face with what you've been avoiding. It shakes you awake when you've been asleep too long. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it wants you to remember. In the higher realms, before you took this form, your soul saw the timelines. It saw which experiences would lead you to compassion, which heartbreaks would open your heart, which losses would lead to rebirth. You weren't picking events. You were picking lessons, frequencies, contracts. You said, I want to know what unconditional love feels like. And the universe replied, then your heart must be broken. You said, I want to remember my strength. And the universe whispered, then you must face something you think you cannot survive. You said, I want to awaken. And the universe showed you darkness, not to punish you, but to show you the contrast. So when you found the light again, you would know it was you all along. This is the hidden architecture of suffering. It's not chaos. It's not punishment. It's not karma in the way people think. It's love. A fierce, holy, soul-shaking love. The kind of love that wants you to become everything you were meant to be, even if it means burning down everything that you're not. Think about the most painful moment in your life. Go there for a second. Not to relive it, but to feel how far you've come since then. Who did you become in that fire? What did you shed? What did you learn? Sometimes our most broken moments are doorways, not endings, beginnings. But we don't see that right away, because awakening often looks like falling apart. You are not weak for feeling pain. You are not lost for questioning everything. It means you're in the process of remembering, of returning, of rising, and just maybe, all of this was part of the plan, not a punishment, but a preparation. In the next part, we'll explore how to move from pain to power, Because now that you understand why you chose this path, it's time to step into what it's been preparing you for. Are you ready? Let's go deeper. So, what if your pain wasn't the end of your story, but the beginning of your power? There comes a moment in every soul's journey where the question shifts from, why is this happening to me? To, what is this awakening within me? Low, ambient hum, heartbeat-like rhythm. That shift, that single inner movement, is where transformation begins. Because once you stop resisting the pain and start listening to it, it speaks. And what it says is this: you are not broken. You are breaking open. There's a difference. Imagine a seed underground, in total darkness, crushed by soil, pressed on all sides. It would be easy to call that pain. But what if it's the first step of blooming? Your pain was the pressure. But you are the seed that never stopped reaching for the light. This is the sacred alchemy, where suffering becomes strength, grief becomes wisdom, loss becomes liberation. Not because the pain disappears, but because you change in its presence. Look closely at your scars. They are not shame. They are scripture. Each one holds a truth you earned, a lesson you lived, a reminder that you are still here. Do you see it now? You didn't just survive the storm. You became the storm's teacher. And this is what most people never realize. Pain isn't here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you. Because somewhere in the middle of your darkest night, you found something, a quiet strength, a hidden courage, a voice that whispered, keep going. And maybe you didn't know it then, but that voice was you, the real you, the ancient, eternal you, the part that remembered this was the path you chose, not to suffer endlessly, but to awaken fully. You see, awakening doesn't come from comfort. It comes from friction, from fire, from walking through the valley and realizing you were the light you were looking for all along. And once you realize that, once you truly feel that, everything begins to change. Because pain no longer owns you. You become the one who alchemizes it, who turns it into art, into purpose, into power. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into how this power works and how you can use it to create a new timeline for your life, not by escaping your past, but by rewriting the meaning of it. You've already walked through fire. Now, it's time to rise. Now that you've walked through the fire, now that you've seen the why behind the pain, the question becomes, what will you do with it? Because the moment you change your relationship to pain, you reclaim your power, not by pretending it didn't hurt, not by suppressing the memory, but by rewriting the meaning. And meaning is everything. When you shift the way you hold a memory, you shift the energy it holds over you. That trauma, it becomes testimony. That heartbreak, it becomes the birthplace of self-love. That loss, it becomes a portal to presence. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what awakened in you because of it. You can look at your past and see pain, or you can look again and see power. Because here's the truth. The most powerful people you've ever met, the most radiant, wise, deeply compassionate souls, they didn't get that way by avoiding pain. They were shaped by it, matured through it, softened, deepened, and refined in it, just like you. And maybe this is the moment where you stop running from your wounds and start listening to them. Ask yourself, what did my pain teach me? What truth did it force me to face? What version of me was born because of it? Because your power doesn't come from perfection. It comes from integration, from gathering the shattered parts of yourself and saying, I see you. You're not too broken. You're not too much. You're not too late. You are whole, even in your healing, especially in your healing. Here's something few people ever realize. Your past does not have to dictate your future. The pattern ends when you become conscious. And this is how a new timeline begins. Not by waiting for some outside miracle, but by choosing, from this moment forward, to live as if your healing is already happening. Because it is. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to return to yourself, to the version of you that existed before the world told you who to be, the one who knew how to feel, how to trust, how to believe. And as you return to that, you begin to magnetize a new reality, not from force, but from frequency, because the universe responds not to your words, but to your state. Your vibration is your invitation, and the more you align with truth, with peace, with love, the more your outer life begins to shift, not because something out there changed, but because something in here did. And in the final chapter, we'll bring it all together. We'll talk about your soul's deeper purpose and how to carry this remembering into the world with strength, with softness, with sacred intention. Let's finish this journey. So now you know. You didn't come here by accident. You didn't suffer without purpose. You didn't fall apart just to stay broken. You came to remember that beneath all the pain was a soul made of stars, a being of light and love, brave enough to come here to forget, so you could find your way back. That is not weakness, that is mastery, because only the most courageous souls choose the path of forgetting, just to experience the miracle of remembering. And now that you've remembered, what will you do? How will you walk through this world knowing the truth of who you are? Because healing is not the end. It's the beginning of contribution, of radiance, of living from the inside out. You don't need to preach. You don't need to prove. Your presence is enough. Your energy speaks louder than words. You carry a frequency now, a frequency born from the fire, tempered by the tears, and blessed by every breath you kept taking when you wanted to give up. So if today you feel a little lighter, a little stronger, a little more connected to your truth, it's because your soul is remembering, and it's been waiting for this moment to whisper, you are exactly where you're meant to be. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming. And if you're still in the middle of your pain, if the nights still feel long and the healing still hurts, please know this, you are not alone. So many of us are walking through this same sacred fire, not to be destroyed by it, but to be reborn. And if you feel this message in your bones, if something inside you stirred, softened, awakened, then maybe it's not just for you. Maybe it's for someone else too. So if this touched something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a soul who needs to hear this, with someone who's forgetting who they are, so they too can begin to remember. This is how we heal, together, one truth at a time, one awakening at a time, until the world remembers what it forgot. Thank you for being here. Thank you for remembering. Thank you for choosing to become.